Okay, this is 8th grade geometry, 9th standard, volume of three-dimensional shapes. A three-dimensional shape has a front, a back, left, right, top, and bottom view. You can see it from every dimension. More specifically, the shapes we're going to discuss are prisms, cones, spheres, and cylinders. Okay, so if I start with prisms, prisms look like this. There's a rectangular prism. And a cube is also identified as a prism. The difference in a prism, rectangular prism, and a cube: the cube is made of 6 square faces, and of course the rectangular prism is made of 6 rectangular faces. If I was to label this shape with some dimensions, okay, if I wanted to find the volume of this rectangular prism, I identified the shape as a rectangular prism. I identified this one as a cube. Okay. We labeled the shape. We put the dimensions around the edges of the shape. Now let's write the formula. The formula for volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. You can also use this same formula for finding the volume of a cube. But since the sides or faces of a cube are congruent, you can use volume equals side to the third power. Side times side times side. And we only use one variable, s, because the sides of a cube are the same. When I do v equals, the length is 4, the width is 3, the height is 2. So volume is equal. 4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24. That was our evaluate step. Expressed in cubic units, 24 inches cubed. If I do that one, v equals, the side is 1.5. If I change that to an improper fraction, I get 3/2 to the third power. 3 to the third power is 27. 2 to the third power is 8. 27 over 8 inches cubed. You could also change this to an mixed number. You get 3 3/8 inches cubed. So as you can see, I identified the shape, and you can't identify the formula if you don't know the name of the shape. You then need to label that shape. It does you no good just to have a diagram of a shape and have nothing around it. Then you write the formula. Here's the formula for volume of a rectangular prism. Here's the formula for volume of a cube. You then substitute the given values that we have in the diagram, substituted into the equation. Then you evaluate, okay? That just means multiply or divide, do the computation you see, and express your answer in cubic units. Okay, that's how we do the prism. I'm going to use the same process, but a different shape. I'm going to use a cylinder. And cylinders look like cans. Prisms you see throughout life. It can be boxes. That means matchboxes, soap boxes. Your computer is a prism. This eraser is a prism. Prisms are everywhere. So are cylinders. These are your cans. Okay? Okay? So this is 6 centimeters. And this is 12 centimeters. Okay? Formula for volume of a prism is different for formula for volume of formula for volume of a cylinder is different from the formula of a prism. So when the shape changes, most likely the formula does too. Prism formula V equals pi r squared h. Jesus. Kanye, you've been looking at that lesson a long time. I think I'm not paying attention. The formula for volume of a prism is V equals pi times radius squared times height. Okay? We know that volume, V stands for volume. The shape is already identified and labeled. We know our formula. Let's substitute the given values. This is the pi symbol. Technically, this is normally represented using 3.14, and that's an approximation. So where I see the pi symbol, slide in 3.14. The radius is half of the diameter. When you see a circular surface, if you see a line drawn through the center all the way from one end to the other, that's the diameter. Half of it is the radius. If the diameter is 6, the radius has to be 3. And you're going to square it, and your height is 12. Now you just evaluate. V equals 3 squared is 9 times 12 times 3.14. Okay? 9 times 12 is 108 times 3.14. I'll punch that in my handy dandy. I get 339 and 1200ths. But remember, I have to express it in cubic units. I'm measuring in centimeters cubed. So as you can see, volume is just like area. It's just 3 dimensions instead of 2. Okay? Next shape is a sphere. Okay? Sphere. Sphere reminds you of the globe, Earth. Okay? The formula is volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay? I give you a diameter of 12 inches. You ought to be able to substitute the given values and find the formula, the volume of this shape. V equals 4/3. We know pi has to be 3.14. If the diameter is 12, the radius has to be 6 cubed. V equals 4/3. 6 cubed is 216. You're going to multiply that by 3.14. I punch all of this in my handy dandy calculator. I get 9 volume equals 904 and 3200ths. Make sure expressed in cubic units, inches cubed. And that's the sphere. Our last shape is the cone. Okay. Last shape is the cone. Okay. Think of a birthday hat. Think of a birthday hat when you think of a cone. A little party hat you wear at your birthday party. Okay. I'm going to give you a radius of 2.5 inches. I'm going to give you a height of 5 inches. This is a cone. Okay. The formula for volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared h, or V equals pi r squared h divided by 3. Because multiplying by 1/3 and dividing by 3 is the same thing. Do what we've been doing, plug it into the formula. V equals 1/3. We know pi is 3.14. The radius is 2.5. It gave it to us in this case. It must be squared and multiplied by 5. Okay? 2.5 squared is 6.25. So you're going to multiply that times 5. Bring down to 3.14. The 1/3 and the V equals. Now you can multiply this stuff straight across. Normally I discourage you from using the calculator, but it's okay in this case. Here I'm checking for process, as long as you know how. Okay. All right, I get 300. Can't see. Divided by 32.7. V equals 32.7 inches cubed, or cubic inches. And that concludes volume. Remember that volume measures capacity. It tells us how many of these little cubic units it takes to fill up the whole shape. So picture these units. This is about this big because they measure 1 unit on each side. The length, the width, and the height measures 1 unit all the way around. How many of these little ice cubes does it take to fill up the whole glass? That's a good analogy for volume.